Brooklyn Independent Television.
Straight ahead on Sector B, the business of Brooklyn. Guayusa, an ancient type of tea from the Amazon, gets new life on Flatbush Avenue. But the product is only one aspect of this business.
We're not just a tea company. We're one player in an overall ecosystem.
On Nostrand Avenue, Devin Jamat is giving something back to her neighbors.
It's just a little time. It's just 4 hours of my day a week and my hands.
If you're out of a job and your do needs redoing, this is the place.
She took care of my hair and got me looking proper.
And
this is Lou, take one.
These two women are building a business out of their customers' memories and memorabilia.
I was 18.
You can have lists and lists of names and places where people travel to and were born, but until you know the story, you don't have the essence.
So get your story straight and get with the program.
Hello, I'm Randy Piers. Welcome to Sector B, the business of Brooklyn on Brooklyn Independent Television. The tea trade was once one of the world's most dominant businesses. Tea, like sugar and tobacco, was mostly produced on plantations, run by owners who usually didn't spend much time worrying about their workers' well-being. And Brooklyn, like most large port cities, profited from all that tea and all that hard labor. The tea business still exists here. On Flatbush Avenue, we found a radically different type of tea company, not just for the unique leaf they offer, but for the way they help the South American farmers who grow it.
I'm Dan McCombie, and I'm the co-founder of Runa. Runa is an Amazonian beverage company, and we are the world's exclusive exporter and purveyor of beverages made with guayusa. Guayusa is a caffeinated tree leaf from the Ecuadorian Amazon. It's got more energy than any other leaf, but it's balanced with twice the antioxidants of green tea. We started Runa 3 years ago, explicitly with the purpose of utilizing guayusa as a tool for sustainable development, cultural preservation, and livelihood generation in Ecuador. The word Runa means fully awake and alive human being in the language of the Quechua, which is the primary group that we work with and buy guayusa from. They say guayusa is everything to them to help them become this kind of fully awake and alive person. So the Quechua get up every morning, very early in the morning, and they'll have hot gourds full of guayusa, and they'll sit there with their families and the rest of their community, and they'll share their myths and stories and legends and really build their collective ideas of how the world works. And they'll get up and they'll have the energy to go out and accomplish what they want to do and get on with their day. Tyler Gage, who's my business partner and has been my best friend for 6 years, we both went to Brown University together. And Tyler was fortunate enough actually to do work on ethnobotany in Latin America. And in his studies, he was exposed to guayusa. Communities actually shared it with him. And over the course of mornings drinking this, he realized what a potential opportunity we had to both support the communities that grew it and also introduce something really amazing and beneficial to consumers here in the States. We moved down to Ecuador in January of 2009 and just really began to work on the ground bit by bit until 2 years later we have the company where it is today. So we've now grown to the point where we work with 120 communities, 1,200 farmers. We're planning to harvest 60,000 pounds of fresh leaves this year. Our whole inspiration, and still a basic and important part of our company, is how we could use markets as tools for sustainable development and livelihood generation. So we most consistently and importantly offer the highest price. We buy on the spot. We pay on time. Our actual trucks go to the communities and buy from them. They don't have to trek it into a market. So we make it as easy and direct as possible for farmers to sell their products and earn income. And that's the base. As much as someone can talk about their social enterprise and all the good they're doing, the people we work with are just like people anywhere else. They want to get paid, be respected, treated well. And we heard of and witnessed situations in which communities were put in the very tragic choice of if they wanted to feed or clothe or pay for their kids' education, they would have to cut down trees or go work at an oil company. So creating income opportunities that allow the farmers to sell products that grow on their own land and build their communities there is the most important thing we can do. So the way we think about what we do is that we're not just a tea company. We're a beverage company and tea company first and foremost, but we're one player in an overall ecosystem of opportunities, communities, organizations that can really work together towards a more holistic model of sustainable development. So selling a bottled beverage has always been one of our biggest dreams and core goals. It's not the easiest thing. We actually have redesigned our whole brand. We're coming out with a new website, and this is the first iteration of that. That design process took about 8 months, 2 years of formulation, then finding the right bottler, sourcing the glass, finding sugar. It's quite a process, but we were able to build on the knowledge we already had about distribution and sales, and we got it going pretty quickly. Between when we produced it, we were able to get on shelves in Whole Foods here in New York and up in Boston now within the space of a week. We got now 6 people based out of our little nook in the shared office space on Flatbush. And from here we manage all of our finances, operations, sales, marketing, branding, business development. It all happens here, anything that's not the supply chain in Ecuador. We were really excited to move here because what Runa represents, we think, matches very well with Brooklyn. Even though we're an Amazonian product and the Amazon is central to what we do, every day in the Amazon people get up and they create things and they work with their land. And that's one of the things we love about being here in New York and particularly Brooklyn is we see people here doing that too. So we want to bring that same ethos and the energy that Guayusa provides to people all over here. We started our company based on Guayusa, but we're really about the model. Guayusa is just a catalyst for that. We think that supporting sustainable Amazonian products that support the ecosystems that can be replenished, that's a model that can be applied across the world, but particularly in the Amazon. So our long-term goal is that, A, we grow Guayusa, we support many thousands of farmers, but B, that we can support others in applying this model to any other host of products that can be shared in the market. We have the opportunity to help redefine what people think about when they think about consumption. It's either something that they don't think about, just eat whatever, or it's something that we feel guilty about. I feel guilty about what you put in your body, feel guilty about what it does to the earth. And so by creating and sharing products that check off all those boxes that are good for you, good for the earth, that you know where they come from, we feel like we can help redefine what it means to both grow and trade and share, and most importantly, consume.
New York City now has close to 70 business improvement districts, and more than 20 of these bids are here in Brooklyn. One of them, created in the fall of 2009, is the BedStuy Gateway bid, which runs about 1.5 miles on Fulton Street and includes more than 300 businesses. What does a bid like this mean to an area like Central Brooklyn? And just how well is the bid doing as a 2.5-year-old? Here with some of the answers is Doug Jones, Gateway's Executive Director. Doug, welcome.
Thanks, Randy. Thanks so much for having us.
So, Doug, let's start by talking a little bit about what a bid does and also sort of defining the boundaries of the Gateway bid.
Absolutely. The BedStuy Gateway Business Improvement District, it's on Fulton Street in Central Brooklyn. It goes from Lewis Avenue as its eastern border all the way down to Clausen Avenue as its western border, which is actually the border between Bed-Stuy and Clinton Hill. And then it's also on Nostrand Avenue from Atlantic Avenue in the south, and it goes to Halsey Street in the north. The services that a bid typically provides, supplemental sanitation. Department of Sanitation always cleans up and picks up and everything else, and businesses within the district need to have their proper certification, but it provides supplemental sanitation, guys on the street cleaning up and sweeping up and things like that, marketing services, and then also some component of security. And the security, it's never, the kind of armed guard type security. It's more of monitoring quality of life issues. If you have businesses who are dumping or people coming from other areas to dump inside of the district. People, noise complaints, things of that nature. So that's what the Business Improvement District does.
So what's new and exciting at the Gateway Bid?
What isn't new and exciting in Bed-Stuy? I mean, there's so much happening. First of all, I mean, you said it. Central Brooklyn, Bedford-Stuyvesant is experiencing, so much of a renaissance right now. How does a commercial corridor shape itself in the 21st century to really service the needs of people that are living in the community abutting that district? It's different from a downtown center. It is a neighborhood center. And we'd like to attract the folks that are living in Brownstone, Bedford-Stuyvesant to Fulton Street. So there are a couple of things that we're doing. We're constantly outreaching to the residential community through our seminars and our workshops to invite them to participate and see what's new and what's happening, what new businesses are here, what services they're offering, what products they're offering. We do that through networking seminars. We're having a few workshop seminars coming up to support local businesses. How do we get the business community itself to think about using social media, Twitter and YouTube and Facebook, to offer incentives for people to get people to come through the doors and really take advantage of seeing what's on the walls. There are wonderful things, that are happening on Fulton Street. Rose's Hardware, for instance. Those guys pride themselves on having a customer service and intimacy of the people that are walking through their doors, bar none. So they say, and rightfully so, that they can compete with, the Home Depot because they know what their customer needs coming in. So those are the kinds of things that we're doing, like really helping businesses to build capacity and interact with the residents in the surrounding community.
So I've had the pleasure of working with you in the past, and I remember when you and I were both at the Brooklyn Chamber. Fulton Street was your passion back then,
yes.
And now it's come full circle, and you're doing great things. One of the concerns that you used to echo all the time was just the retail mix, and how to diversify that retail mix.
Yeah.
So what are you doing today in order to make that happen?
What we do? We strap on a good shoe, and we tie up our laces, and we go see what's happening in other districts, what's working there, and we speak to businesses that are interested in expanding. We visit our friends over at MARP. We visit our friends uptown on 125th Street. We talk to our colleagues in those districts and say, hey, listen, point me in the direction of businesses who are thinking about expanding and see if we can attract them to Bed-Stuy. And we do a lot in terms of tours. There are entrepreneurs there that understand what's happening in Central Brooklyn and understand that their market there is similar to our market here. And hey, come walk around, look at the fabulous architecture, look at some of the openings that we have, come feel the neighborhood, the friendliness of the people that are there. And when you think about expanding, if you're seriously looking right now, let's sit down and talk and introduce you to some property owners. So there's kind of a relationship that we're keeping one foot in the ever-expanding and evolving business world in New York City, right. Through Solution Center and Brooklyn Chamber of Commerce and, all those types of places. But then we're also listening to our property owners that we work with on an ongoing basis, our business community and entrepreneurs, and saying what vacancies are there and what are you guys interested in attracting and seeing here, and thinking about the retail mix.
So what are you interested in seeing?
What am I interested in seeing? That's one of the breaches of urban planning. But I will tell you what I'm interested in seeing. Bakery, yoga shop, small boutique type places, the bar, the lounge, the coffee shop. Things that, again, when you get up on a Saturday morning after you've been working in the city or you've been working in a large urban center area, crowded downtown, the last thing that you probably want to do is get on a train or get in your car and go someplace else, right? You want to get up and you want to walk to your neighborhood commercial corridor, and you want to sit down. You want to have, pastry. You want to have bring your kids out or bring your partner or whoever, and sit down and have brunch right there in the neighborhood.
And keep those consumers local.
Keep those consumers local. We are experiencing so much retail leakage. We had a study done in 2009 that says, there's $584 million leaving the neighborhood, and that means jobs that are leaving the neighborhood. That means the reinvestment cycle is leaving the neighborhood. How do you get that money to come back and stay in the neighborhood?
Retail leakage, I like that term, but it's a very important issue, particularly for communities like BedStuy.
It is, particularly when you have, unemployment rates as high as they are in central Brooklyn. Now, are we saying that anyone is going to get rich off of, these types of jobs? No, but these are certainly jobs that you can support a family on, and really live and provide a stable income, for a growing family, or even, starting out in tough economic times that we're experiencing now. So how do we work with the entrepreneurial community, the existing merchant community, the kind of mom and pop, to help them evolve and take advantage of what's happening in the marketplace today to really be a 21st century neighborhood commercial corridor.
As well as working with the property owners, because at the end of the day, they're the ones who sort of make the deals with the potential tenants.
They are, and we constantly, property owners, I'm constantly talking to them about, what's happening, who are they looking at, if there's a vacancy and we see a sign go up, first thing we do is we get on the phone and we call like, hey, not that we are anti-broker or anything else, but we would like to work at least in tandem with you. Sure. Who's your representative? And we get some good responses. Sometimes we don't, but most of the times we do.
Well, it sounds like there are exciting things happening in BedStuy and at the Gateway Bid, and I thank you for coming to share some of that with us.
Randy, appreciate the opportunity. Thanks so much.
Great. With the economic revival of a neighborhood like BedStuy comes the hope for more jobs. That means job interviews. But the longer you've been out of work, the harder it may be to have the money to look your best. Maybe you need a new outfit or new shoes, or simply want to get your hair styled. As Sector B's Melissa Rose Cooper tells us, the women who own a beauty salon on Nostrand Avenue saw the need for all those new do's and decided to do something about it.
Devin Jamot takes pride in fulfilling her passion to make people look good.
This is fun. I mean, I love what I do. I wake up every morning excited to come to work. I have a lot of neighborhood people here who, just brighten up my day even when I'm slow.
And now she's extending her gifted hands to those who can't afford it.
As businesses, we should always try to give back. I think if you have a restaurant, I think you should be able to give out free food to people who can't eat.
Every Tuesday from the hours of 10 to 1, Donna's Hair Salon provides free hair services to the unemployed. Jamot, who owns the salon with her mom, says she got the idea last year after talking with other hair professionals about ways to give back to the community.
Now you know. Now you know.
No judgments, no exact questions asked, meaning you don't have to bring in any documentation, any proof saying that you're not working, because many of our people in this area, some of them actually work off the books or have worked off the books. There's some people who are here who's still trying to get citizenship or legalize themselves in the country, and so some people don't even have documents that they've worked or not working. And so you just come in and make an appointment.
Services include a wash and style and would cost the average client $15 to $45. That's a big savings for people like Kimberly Hill, who want to look good for any potential job interviews, but just don't have the means to do so.
When your hair is done, your esteem is something totally different. There's nothing like getting your hair done. You feel better overall.
Hill has been going to Donna's hair salon for 3 years, but had to cut back her visits once she lost her job. She took advantage of Jamot's offer and got her hair done one night before a big interview.
It was really last minute. I almost didn't go to the interview. She took care of my hair and got me looking proper, and I went on the interview and actually landed the job.
Jamot is happy to know she can help people, but says she's not looking for anything in return.
It costs nothing for me to give it, so why not give it? It really is not much of a gratitude thing for myself. We're not given to each other. And so it's just a little time. It's just 4 hours of my day a week and my hands. This didn't cost me anything.
She doesn't make it an awkward situation. Some people can make you feel like, oh God, I'm asking for something. And I'm not that person to ask for anything either. So it's kind of like two opposites, but she doesn't make you feel awkward. She's very understanding.
At the end of the day, she just wants each woman who comes to her salon to leave with great-looking hair and a smile on her face. For Sector B, I'm Melissa Rose Cooper.
When an elderly person's home has to be emptied out, for whatever reason, the family may feel like it's rummaging through a personal history museum that's had no curator. Letters and photos can turn up in books and drawers and who knows where. And the stories that go along with those precious items may be in danger of being lost. For two women who work in the Gowanus, keeping history from disappearing was the inspiration behind a new business.
We gotta set up some stuff.
What?
We're gonna set up some stuff. Yeah. Right here. All right, this is Lou, take one. Okay, Lou. So why don't you start introducing yourself and those.
Storykeep is a multimedia production company, and we specialize in audio and video recordings of family stories. So it's meant to create heirlooms for families to pass on to future generations.
We got married 14 years before Valerie was born, so it was a very carefree living.
Our backgrounds are in documentary film and radio production, so we've always had a passion for people's life stories. And we just realized there wasn't a way for people to really capture those stories if they didn't have the time or didn't know how to do it themselves. So we decided to provide that for people.
I learned a little from my father. When he first came over, he did the same thing. He was here not even 3 years and he had his own business already.
Lou is an incredible guy, and his daughter-in-law knew that she wanted to capture his spirit, his gestures, his voice. He has these incredible hands, and he grew up in the Great Depression, so there's just, from that moment until now, he just has so many stories to tell. So she, at the time, had a 2-year-old son, and she wanted to make sure that her son would really know his grandfather. So she asked us to come and record his entire life story, and has told us that she plans to give the finished piece to her son and now her young daughter when they're about 12 or 13.
Oh my God, look at that.
Look at that guy.
I was 18. Can you believe it?
Well, we sit down with the storyteller and the storyteller's family, and we'll sit down and talk about the whole process and what stories they really want to capture, what media they might have. We digitize anything. So if they have old 8mm rotting away in their attic, old slides, anything, yeah. So we take sort of an inventory of all the media that they have and make a blueprint for what stories they want to capture. And so after we do the meeting, we schedule a number of recording sessions, typically, with the storyteller. It can, span a couple months sometimes. And then we start editing the final product together.
This is really a nice way to open the piece.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we might want to put Queens, New York there, just to kind of give it. Yeah, we've definitely come up with, come against a few challenges. I think the main one is that people wait too long sometimes. They think they want to wait until someone's really ripe with wisdom to say, Dad, I think we want to record your story. And I don't know if it's because they think the person might view them as old or something like that. But sometimes, and also life just gets in the way. You think, I'm going to do this, I know this is important. And there's as many times as someone's come up and said, this is the person I want you to record, people have come up and said, I wish that I would have met you 3, 4, 5 years ago or 2 months ago. And so that breaks our heart, personally and also as business owners.
And I thought that this would be a nice spot to put these 3 photos.
Yeah, I think that really works. We've been working on this exclusively for just about a year, but both of us have been in our respective fields for 5 or 6 years before that, sort of preparing essentially in a way for this destined moment of starting Storykeep. Yeah, well, a lot of people find us on our website, storykeep.org, and we have a lot of clients who come to us from word of mouth. I mean, someone will tell their friend, I had Storykeep come and record my father, and it was a wonderful experience, and so it just sort of rolls like that. Here, why don't I'm just going to start the credits from the top to get a sense of. I don't know if anyone has a better job than us, truly. I mean, we have the opportunity to see the world through so many people's perspectives and meet different families who value a lot of similar things and a lot of different things too, and to be in their homes. It's an honor, and it is an opportunity to validate people's individual stories and create these beautiful heirlooms. So we get to do sort of crafty work and also sort of journalistic work. So
it's not often that people have the opportunity to tell their story. And so when you sit down with someone, especially an elder in a family who's clearly so important to the family, to be able to sit down with them and really say, look, I am doing nothing for the next however many hours except listen to you. And I mean, it's a magical experience. This is our passion, and we hope to be doing it for a very long time.
That's it this month from Sector B. If you want to check out any of the companies or programs we have just featured, their phone numbers and links are about to roll across your screen. To see past episodes of the show, go to our website at bricartsmedia.org/BIT and then click on Sector B. And you can follow us on Facebook or Twitter on BK Independent TV. I'm Randy Piers. Thanks for watching.
Watch this and other Brooklyn Independent Television episodes online at bricartsmedia.org/BIT.